Good morning. Hey, we find ourselves here on another day that the Lord has blessed us to be alive and well. Sometimes, as a pastor, we are often preparing messages that we think that are for other people that might need the message. But I guess today, the message that I prepared that I thought was for Church of New Beginnings, perhaps was really for me. Today, I want to share a story kind of. Just before I went to the pulpit to preach, I got a text message from my daughter to pray for one of my cousins that he had been in an accident and had broken, she thought at the time, was his neck, but turns out he broke his back. He's a young guy, in his 30s probably. And I was kind of disturbed by the news that I heard. I know some probably say you shouldn't have looked at your phone, but I think it was a reason I needed to look because I needed to give God some praise. Even in the midst of this situation, God was still going to show up and show out. Today I shared a message entitled, Jesus will show up when it looks like your only option is failure. Jesus will show up when it looks like your only option is failure. And I'm reminded in the book of Luke, chapter 24, verses about 13 through about 35 is a story of two disciples that were on a journey from Jerusalem to Emmaus. It was about a 7-mile journey. And as they traveled on this road, talking among themselves, can you believe what we just experienced? Can you believe that we saw Jesus on the cross? Can you believe what they did to him? And now what are we going to do? All our hopes, all our dreams of being delivered from oppression is all gone out of the window. But as they were walking, a stranger appeared unto them and started asking them questions. What is this conversation y'all had? What are y'all talking about? What's going on? What's happened? What did I miss? And they told him in essence, how could you not know what was going on? Jesus of Nazareth was crucified. So what they were doing, first of all, we see that they did about 2 or 3 things here. First, we see that they had left the believers on the way home. And when you feel like you're a failure, that's one of the things you might do is you might try to lead believers. But that's the place you really need to be, is among believers. The second thing we find in the text that they did was they were living in the past. Every time they said anything to this stranger, they always referred to Jesus as he was a prophet. He was this. He was crucified. Everything was in the past. But as I was preaching the message today, or just before I got ready to preach, a minister of music began to sing, "Thank You, Lord." And while we were in the midst of thanking the Lord, I got the text, and I went outside to return the call to my daughter. And she told me what had happened. And I said, even at this, God is still in the hospital just like he's here at this church. So I want to just say that I believe that he's going to be okay. And I'm happy to report that when you think the only option you have is failure, Jesus will show up. I may be talking to somebody today. Maybe you feel like there's no point in even living. But I want to share with you. Do you have any family members? Do you have any friends? What do you think is going to happen to them if you feel like all hope is gone and you have no desire to stay around? You will be hurting them. But I'm going to tell you, there's a man named Jesus who's right there. The old folk would say he's just one prayer away. Facebook, be blessed. Failure is not your option. It's not an option. Jesus said when he got up, he looked at the grave and he said, "Grave, where is your victory? And death, where's your sting?" And because of that, because he lives, you can live. And because he lives, you can face tomorrow. God bless you.